Who am I to tell you what your freedom is? Your freedom can look completely different to my freedom, right? I might not want your freedom. I might not want any part of it. Quite unboundaried. I grew up unboundaried, right? And my mum is exactly the same. She's the most fearless, doesn't give a fuck. And she was always teaching me to question everything. So I never accepted authority. I wasn't in the education system. My mum taught me at home. I was really free of any kind of toxic body attitudes. And I've genuinely my whole life existed in the knowledge that I was quite beautiful and everything was fine and it was not something to be focused on. And it was only when I re-entered the education system that I even realised the longer I was in the system and the more bothered I became about the way I looked or whether I was overweight or always trying to be skinnier or smaller than I was. And then I remember reading this quote by this woman, I forget who it was, and it just said, diets are the most effective way of controlling over half the population. And you're just keeping women hungry and stressed out and starved so that they're less able to be like, actually, let's retaliate and form a coalition with one another. You can be skinnier and you can be smaller and you can be waxed and made up and you can be all the things that this world wants you to be, and they're not going to love you anymore for it, ever. They'll still abuse you. They'll still rape you in the streets. They'll still harass you. They'll still pay you less. It won't change a damn thing. I'd say to young women, it doesn't matter what you look like. You walk into a space and you say, I'm beautiful. And suddenly the world cocks its head and goes, oh, she is actually really gorgeous. She is beautiful. My idea of freedom is being able to be sexually positive and to talk about it and to wear what I like and wear nothing if I don't want to and be vocal about it. There's a woman somewhere who's incredibly empowered who doesn't want that. She doesn't want any of that. And I'm never going to try and inflict my idea of freedom on other women. If you want to boil it down, it's about choice, right? It's about having the freedom to choose, right? Are you free to wear a niqab and stay at home and cook for your husband and raise your children? Are you free to do that? Also, are you free politically, socially, culturally to live with your lesbian lover and have no children? This is like an argument people have about feminism all the time where they're like, you're not a feminist if you want to stay at home. And I'm like, of course you are. What are you talking about? It comes in many forms, right? Womanhood comes in many forms, and that's the beautiful thing about it. And I'll learn something from that woman, and I'll learn something from another woman. But we have to all be free to make these choices. We can't be making them because it's the only choice we have, right? And we can't be making other choices because it's unsafe to make the choices that we want, right? Let me fight for your choices so that we can exist in spaces where we can make those choices.